Hello everybody, I am going to work on these next 2 pages with you in case you are stumped and you really need help with this assignment. We are working on bytes, gigabytes, megabytes, kilobytes, and to work on this assignment, the best thing to do is to use this chart over here. So we're going from 9 kilobytes to bytes. Kilobytes to bytes, that means you're timesing by 1,000, which would be 9 times 1,000 is 9,000. The next problem is 43 kilobytes to bytes. So that would be 43 times 1,000, which gives you 43,000. Now we're going from kilobytes to bytes again. We have 9.6 times 1,000 gives you 9, 6, and 3 zeros. How many numbers are behind your decimal point? 1. We move our decimal point over 1, and our answer is 9,600. The next problem is 8 megabytes to kilobytes. Megabytes to kilobytes is timesing by 1,000, which gives you 8,000. Letter E, 41 megabytes times 1,000 is 41,000. F, we have 7.3 megabytes, turning it to kilobytes. Times it by 1,000. How many zeros in 1,000? Shortcut, 1 times 73 is 73, and 3 zeros. We have 1 number behind our decimal point, so we move our decimal point over 1, and that gives us 7,300. We have gigabytes to megabytes. Gigabytes to megabytes is times by 1,000, so we have 7,000 for our answer. Next problem, we have 56 gigabytes to megabytes. We times by 1,000, which gives us 56,000. Letter I, we have 2.4 gigabytes to megabytes, times by 1,000, 24,000. How many numbers behind my decimal point? 1, so move it over 1. That gives us 2,400. We are going from megabytes to bytes, megabytes to bytes. Megabytes to kilobytes is 1,000. Kilobytes to bytes is another 1,000. So what is 1,000 times 1,000? 1,000 times 1,000 gives us 1 with 6 zeros. We're going to take that times 16. That gives us 16 million. Our next one says, our number 2, round each decimal number to the nearest whole number. Boom. Round to the nearest whole number. We are rounding to the nearest whole number, which entails we got 5.3. We need to round it to this place value right here, and the 3 helps us determine if it's going to be rounded 5 or greater, rounded up, 4 or less. You leave this number alone and drop this off. So it looks like we have to leave the 5 alone and drop it off, and your answer is 5.0. Our next problem is 16.8. We need to round to this whole number here. 8 is our helper number. 8 tells me if I'm going to be rounding up or down, and it looks like 5 or greater. We round this up. So our number will be 17.0. Our next number is 21.25. We are rounding to this number right here in the ones place. We look for 2 to help us. Let us know if we're going to be rounding this number up or rounding it down. And because it's 4 or less, we're going to get rid of that and just leave it at 21.00. Next page. All right. Here we are rounding to the nearest tenth. So we have 8.85. Here's our tenths place, and this is our helper number right before it. So that tells me that it's 8 point, we know it's 5 or greater, we round this 8 to a 9. 4 or less, we drop off the 5 and leave the 8 alone. But since it's a 5, we are going to round that 8 to a 9. We have 12.09. We're rounding to our tenths place here. This is my helper number. So that tells me I have 12 point, this 9 is 5 or greater. We round this 0 up to a 1. Next one, we have 100.15. We need to round to the tenths place. This is my helper number. 5 or greater, we round this 1 to a 2. Now we're rounding to the hundredth, nearest hundredth place. Our number is 24.275. This is my hundredth place. This is my helper number. 5 or greater, we round this 7 to an 8. Oops. $24.28. Now we're at 36.308. Here is my hundredth place. Here is my helper number. 5 or greater, we round that 0 up to a 1. 3631. Now we have 3.495. Here's my hundredth place. Here's my helper number. 5 or greater, we round this 9 to a 10 and carry a 1. 3.5 or 3.50, same thing. Now we're adding and subtracting decimals. Bring my decimal straight down. 11, 7, 681. Now we're subtracting. We have to borrow. Bring my decimal point down. 11 minus 8, 3. 9 minus 9, 0. 4 minus 3, 1. Now we're adding 9. Don't forget my decimal point. 9 again. 9, and 1 plus 2 is 3. Over here we have to borrow. 9, borrowing. 10 minus 5, 5. 9 minus 7, 2. Decimal point. 9 minus 6, 3. 3.25. For number 6, we have Isabel is building a tree fort. The base of the fort is 78 inches wide by 92 inches long. What is the area of the base in square inches? Length times width. Length times width. We've got 78 times 92. So to work that out, 7, 8, 9, 2, 16, carry my 1, 14 plus 1 is 15, 0 placeholder, 9 times 8 is 72, 9 times 7 is 63, 70. Add straight down, 6, 7, 1, 7. So it's 7,167 inches squared. Challenge problem, what is the area of the base in square feet? So you take 78 divided by 12, which gives you 6.5. You take 92 divided by 12, which gives you 7.7. You take 7.7 times 6.5, multiply. 5 times 7 is 35. 5 times 7 plus 3 is 38. 0 placeholder. 6 times 7, 42. Carry my 4. 6 times 7 is 42 plus 4, 46. So we have 5, 10, 10, and we have 2 numbers behind the decimal point. You move your decimal point. We have 2 numbers behind the decimal point. 1, 2. So that means we move our decimal point over 1, 2. So our answer is 50.05 feet squared.